First, let me state that I am very grateful for the Reformation, if that is the proper term, to apply to what happened through Martin Luther and his posting of the 95 Theses. I appreciate his boldness and his response against Rome and the Pope and indulgences and all of that. I think it's important that we offer gratitude. That's by no means to say that no one understood grace during the Dark Ages and certainly a 1,000-year period. It would be improper to say that there were none of God's people during that time. Absolutely. There were those who trusted in the grace of God throughout that time. But those who have trusted in the grace of God have always been somewhat of a minority. And what Roman Catholicism was doing was absolutely abominable. But then again, when you look at the Council of Trent and you look at the history of the Eastern and Western churches and Roman Catholicism, the real problem always still goes back to works. And one of the problems with the Reformation is that Luther didn't go far enough. He just didn't. And it's important for everybody to know that if you're unfamiliar with his works, he still believed in baptismal regeneration. Check out his shorter catechism. It's very clear. And also he affirmed consubstantiation. Now, some people would like to say, well, there was a difference, between consubstantiation and transubstantiation. Transubstantiation or transmutation, as the early church tried to identify it, specifically Justin Martyr, is just the belief that the body of Christ, that the wine and the bread literally turns into the body and blood of Christ. And some of you are familiar with that. They call it the Mass in Roman Catholicism. Well, so Martin Luther decided that, well, it wasn't transubstantiation, it was consubstantiation, which means it was still wine and bread, but it was also literally the body and blood of Christ, and that we still need to literally drink the blood of Christ and literally eat the body of Christ. And so he still affirmed that, and he still affirmed that was a part of what would perpetuate the salvation of God's people, which ultimately is still salvation by works. Okay, in case you're wondering what he believed, yes, he still affirmed salvation by works, regardless of what you see in the 95 Theses. Okay, you must go further and deeper into true Puritan theology if you want to escape that emphasis on the sacraments and that emphasis on baptism. It's just sad, but it's true. Just check out the history. So, I'm grateful for any revelation that took place on a broader scale, and I'm certainly grateful for the Gutenberg printing press to publish that and start a wave, so to speak. But facts are facts. The true Reformation was the cross and resurrection of Christ. We always need to get back to that. And we need to escape this foolishness of misinterpreting John 6, this foolishness of cannibalism. It is nothing short of cannibalism. Baptismal regeneration is nothing short of salvation by works. Consubstantiation is nothing short of salvation by works. So we got to call it for what it is and get back to the gospel as we see it in the book of Romans. I'm glad Luther read Romans 3 with somewhat of a new mindset, but again, he was still stuck in the old ways of Rome and the Eastern and Western churches. So I hope that's been informative for you. Happy Halloween. Have a great day.